SatNet LEO Group 12, 8A-Y4. CASC successfully launched a Long March 8A rocket with the SatNet LEO Group 12 mission from Launch Complex 1, LC-1 at the Wenchang Commercial Space Launch Site, located at Wenchang, Hainan, China. This launch flew 9 Guowang satellites to low Earth orbit. The flight took place on Thursday, October 16, at 1:33 Coordinated Universal Time or at 9:33 China Standard Time. This was a 600th Long March rocket launch. Guowang. Guowang, literal translation National Network, officially Satellite Internet Series Satellites, Pinyin, Wuxing Hulian Wangzili Wuxing, is a Chinese low Earth orbit satellite Internet megaconstellation to create a system of worldwide Internet coverage. It was created by the China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, CASC, a firm backed by the Chinese Academy of Space Technology, CASC. The project was started in 2022 as a rival to the Starlink satellite constellation installed by SpaceX, and plans to be constituted of over 13,000 satellites by the project's end. Around 6,000 of the planned satellites are expected to orbit between 500 and 600 kilometers, comparable to Starlink, and around 7,000 in a higher orbit at around 1,145 kilometers. All satellites launched so far have been placed either in the higher orbits of the second group at around 1,145 kilometers, or in an orbit around 900 kilometers. Since April 2025, the program has launched 14 experimental series, Jishishiyan, satellites and 95 operational satellites, divided into high Earth orbit, JOGUI, and low Earth orbit, DIGI, series. Long March 8, LM8, CZ8. Long March 8, LM8, CZ8, is an orbital launch vehicle developed by the China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology to launch up to 5,000 kilograms to a 700 kilometers altitude sun-synchronous orbit, SSO. The rocket is based on the Long March 7, LM7, CZ7, with its dual-engine first stage and single-engine boosters, along with the existing liquid hydrogen-burning third stage of the Long March 3A, 3B, 3C and 7A as its second stage. Whereas the LM7 uses 4 boosters, the LM8 normally uses just 2. The boosters are omitted in the core-only variant that first flew on its second launch in February 2022. A planned future launch vehicle variant of the Long March 8 will be partially reusable by featuring a combined booster recovery of the first stage and the boosters as a single unit. The maiden flight of the Long March 8 was launched on December 22, 2020 from the Wenchang spacecraft launch site. The core-only variant first flew in February 2022. An upgraded version of the Long March 8, the Long March 8A, LM8A, CZ8A, has successfully debuted on February 11, 2025 with increased capability of up to 7 tons to a 700 km altitude sun-synchronous orbit. It implements a larger 3.35 meters diameter liquid hydrogen liquid oxygen second stage, coupled with 2 upgraded version of the YF-75D engines, known as the YF-75H, with increased thrust to 10 tons each through measures such as increased turbopump speeds. The Long March 8A can also use a larger 5.2 meters diameter payload fairing. Wenchang Commercial Space Launch Site, WCSLS. The Wenchang Commercial Space Launch Site, WCSLS, located at Wenchang, Hainan, is China's first commercial space launch site, and 5th space launch site. The launch site started construction in July 2022, and put into service in 2024. The Wenchang Commercial Space Launch Site is built and operated by Hainan International Commercial Aerospace Launch Co., Limited, HICL, a joint venture of the Hainan government and 3 state-owned conglomerates. In China, a commercial space center is a site owned by an entity other than the government or military. Construction of the site started in July 2022, and the Launch Complex 1 was finished on December 29, 2023. The second pad was finished by the end of May 2024, with 19 different rockets from 9 companies expected to launch using Launch Complex 2, LC2. China Academy of Space Technology, CAST. The China Academy of Space Technology, CAST, Pinyin, Zhongguo Kongjian Jishu Yanjiuyuan, is a Chinese space agency and subordinate of China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, CASC. The agency was founded on February 20, 1968, and is the main spacecraft development and production facility in China. On April 24, 1970, CASC successfully launched China's first artificial satellite Dongfanghong 1st. China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, CASC. The China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, CASC, is a main contractor for the Chinese space program. It is state-owned and has subsidiaries which design, develop and manufacture a range of spacecraft, launch vehicles, and ground equipment. It also has a division for strategic and tactical missile systems. CASC was officially established in July 1999 as part of a Chinese government reform drive, having previously been one part of the former China Aerospace Corporation. Various incarnations of the program date back to 1956.